Greetings and salutations, everyone. My name is Fire Mage, and welcome back to Rimworld Ascension Take 2, Episode 24. If you enjoy this episode, please remember to like and subscribe, and as always, mod list is down in the description. And with that, let's get into the episode. Alright, well, picking up where we left off last episode, what do I want to get done today? Well, I'll be honest. Today's probably going to be mostly a resource gathering episode, so that I can work on building stuff later. The first thing we need to do is make sure Carrie gets back safe, which shouldn't be that big of a problem in the first place. And, of course, the next big thing that I can do right now is the airlock for the freezer, so that our food stops rotting. Now, there is a bit of a problem, a little bit of a hiccup when it comes to that. The freezer is really poorly designed for an airlock. At least one on the inside. I could easily put one on the outside, but that wouldn't really do us a whole lot of good now, would it? So, I think the most optimal design that I can come up with currently is going to be to move this basket, deconstruct this passive cooler, and go for a little bit of an L shape here, which will also require us to move this now that I'm thinking about it. There we go. So that should, in theory, allow us to keep this area refrigerated a little bit easier. Of course, we have to wait for Carrie to get back in order to actually begin working on that, but that shouldn't be too terribly difficult to get finished. And there we go. Krine has finished the tunic bill. We really have a lot of clothes. I think that's going to be in our next trade caravan, is selling off some of our excess clothing that we have lying about. Speaking of clothing, now the final bill is to make the 7 pairs of pants. With that, we should hopefully be able to mostly resolve everyone's problems with clothing. And Carrie has now returned, on the verge of a mental breakdown. Perfect timing. Yikes. Food poisoning major. That'll do it. Now, if you will recall, last episode, Carrie somehow, still don't know how, gained a Psylink while out exploring and building the road. Which means we can now get the age, which, in theory, should now mean that Carrie is effectively immortal, as Carrie can now siphon the life force from others. Pretty nifty little trick. Which also theoretically negates the downside of using chronomancy, which is that it ages you further. Granted, de-aging is highly inefficient and is going to probably kill some people with old age, but, you know, it's an option if needed. And there we go, the longbow has been researched, and we will immediately be going on to research the crossbow. And Carrie has finally gotten to work on the airlock. About time. Granted, they came in with severe food poisoning and the verge of a mental breakdown, but still, they could have at least tried to get it started earlier. But I'll take what I can get. Alright, and there we go. The second large passive cooler has been built. And the first of the doors for our airlock. Which shouldn't really take Carrie too long to finish. If it takes them longer than, like, 2 days, I would be both surprised and disappointed. Alright, and just like I said, shouldn't take her too long, airlock is finished. That is what I call efficiency. So this should now be a lot easier to keep nice and cold, so that our food doesn't spoil. Now, what is the next project after that? We have a bit of stone, so we could begin working on this, or even the main wall again, which, granted, I probably want to do. However, there is a slightly more pressing issue. Namely, the fact that Crine and Sappy run around wearing steel armor constantly. So, how am I going to solve that? Well, the answer is pretty simple. First, I am going to uninstall all of these because they are taking up space. Now, as much as I enjoy having them, they're not really needed anymore. And the second thing I'm going to do is I am going to make a very small armory. And when I say small, I do mean small. It's really only meant for 2 people. At least 4 right now. And in this armory, I shall put, if I can find it, I believe it is in furniture. There it is. Armor racks. That way, Crine and Sappy can store their heavy steel armor onto these, as opposed to running around with it on all the time. Then, if we get an attack, they can go put it on there. That's probably not where I'm going to keep the building, but it'll do for now. I'm also noticing that our freezer is looking a little full. Not the most ideal situation. So I think it's time we reorganize these bins. And also make some more. Because apparently we need to make more. Now, I should be able to get away with simply doing this. And that should be enough to, you know, store it proper. In theory. Oh, and it looks like Crine has finished the build to make pants. Nice. So, I don't really think there's anything else I necessarily need to craft. I mean, I could make some more armor, but we only have 118 steel, and I'd rather save that for other things. So I think we're going to hold off on any more crafting, and Crine can instead begin making stone bricks again, because we do need more stone bricks. We need a lot of them. After all, we do still need to convert all of our buildings to stone, and finish the glorious stone wall that is taking up all of my resources. Oh, and it looks like the Fallen Empire is leaving and have left us a gift of 1 advanced component that I can't use. With a score of 20. Very nice. Also, I forgot to mention it. I did update the list to have Build Armory and removed the 2 that we have finished. Just gonna point that out here. I keep forgetting I have the checklist and that I should be editing it frequently. Oh, and I didn't even notice. It looks like Carrie's actually building the drums that we needed to get set up, so that next time we do our big ol' fairs and events, we get the full benefit. And also, in the middle of me talking, crossbows have been researched. Vera is really cranking out the research at a truly insane speed. At this rate, we might reach the Industrial Era by episode 30. Here's hoping, because that is when the real fun begins. Speaking of fun, let's research saunas next. I can assume this is probably going to get done at ludicrous speed, thanks to Vera really being just a whole different beast when it comes to research. I mean, level 15 research with almost 20 in researching specifically. Yeah, she's pretty good at it, safe to say. And saunas are researched. Let's do noble apparel next. Mainly because it looks nice. And also it's another quick research. But I feel like we're getting to the point where we can start getting some fancier stuff. And there we go. Carrie has now finished the armory in all of its very closet-like glory. And now we get to do the fun part of setting this up to hold plate armor. Very simple, we just do that, copy the settings over, because the only thing we want it to hold is the plate armor. as that is really the only thing we have that it can hold right now. I mean, it can hold any armor, but plate armor is the big thing slowing us down. Looks like Carrie is also getting to work on building the new barrels, which is very good. And speaking of the barrels and the freezer, it looks like the airlock is working wonders because it is yet to go above 30 degrees Fahrenheit, which means our food is staying nice and frozen. No more worrying about the meat rotting, which I am much appreciative of. And Noble Apparel is researched. Look at that. We are rapidly running out of things to research. Or at least we're running out of useful things to research. You know what? Next up, let's do legionary armaments. Start getting some Roman weapons. Probably won't use them, but more options on weapon crafting is always welcome. And it seems like our people are now getting sad that we have not done any trading recently, which is a perfect segue into sending out a trade caravan. Now, I think this trade caravan is going to go over to the Central Republic. They're not the biggest fans of us right now, but I think we might be able to start winning them over. So we will send Sappy in order to go facilitate the trading. And I think the first thing we're going to load up is all of our very poor quality clothing, because we have a lot of it, and it's honestly just kind of clogging up our storage. So we will be getting rid of anything that is below 50% durability or below good quality. That should help clear out the storage significantly. Alright, well, that is hardly weighing her down at all. Which means the normal stuff that we send, that being leather, is up next. Let's make sure we keep the plain leather. We do need to keep some stuff for ourselves after all. A lot of heavy fur. Don't know where I got all that. And we'll send some gray-coated mouflon fur as well. And this aperitif, or however you pronounce that. I'm probably horribly butchering it. In fact, I know I'm horribly butchering it. I don't know why I'm asking. And then, of course, the Silva. And they are taking more than enough food. You don't need to take medicine, though. Medicine is not something you're going to need. It is a 2-day trip, so Sappy will be gone for quite a while. But I think we have more than enough cooked food to last that long, so we shouldn't starve to death. Oh, and we got some visitors, again from the Fallen Empire. Oh, man. Man, you would think that we were, like, a part of the Fallen Empire at this rate with how many are stopping by to visit. And they're always super high ranking. Like, we got a Praetor, a Novice, and a Baron. I don't know why. I don't know why they keep showing up. But they do, and I mean, they give us money, so I can't really complain. They give us money. Oh boy, here comes our first negative event of the episode. A bunch of wild geese have gone manhunter. I mean, it could be worse. It could be, like, something actually scary. I mean, geese are scary, but I think we can handle some crazed geese. I'm just gonna put everyone onto search and destroy. Just let them do it automatically. Again, geese, not that scary. Oh, and it looks like those refugees we helped have sent us a singular L-Tex. Cool. I don't know what I'm gonna do with just one L-Tex, but I have it now, I guess. And there we go. The geese are no longer a threat. They have been dealt with extreme prejudice. Well, could have been worse. Could have been a lot more geese. Could have been something bigger than a goose. I mean, what if it was like, I don't know, the mega sloths? We still would have won with minimal effort, but it could have been worse, is all I'm saying. Could have been worse. And it looks like our fennec fox has apparently died of a heart attack from fighting one of the sky eels. Well, that is certainly something. Did not expect that to happen, but, I mean, wow, that's the second heart attack in 2 back-to-back episodes. These sky eels are a problem, apparently. Probably should deal with them before they continue to multiply, but also, I don't really want to. Seems like it'll be more hassle than it's worth. At the same time, though, probably not. Probably wouldn't be too terribly much of a hassle. You know what? Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and deal with the sky eels before they continue to be a problem in the future. Ooh, and a quest. Dark Shuttle. Ah. Vampire quest. I'm gonna be honest. I think I'm gonna accept this. Mainly because I want to see if I can't capture the thralls and get them to be normal colonists. Let's accept the quest. Plus, we have these guys here, so... Ah, they're crashing all the way down here. Hello. Alright. Oh, they have guns. Oh, they have very scary guns. Oh. Don't like that. None of that. Okay. Might honestly just leave them. Did not expect them to... I should have expected them to have guns. I don't know why I didn't. But, yeah, don't particularly feel like dealing with guns. So, yeah, we're just gonna ignore them, and they will either starve to death or someone else will fight them for us. Anyway, it looks like our caravan has arrived at Augusta. Very nice. Let us begin trading. Starting off by selling them all of our leather and our furs, then the alcohols, and finally all of the clothes. And it's only slightly more than they actually have access to. They also have next to nothing I want. They don't even have medicine. Okay. In that case, I won't sell them the alcohol, and I will simply take their money. And now we send Sappy on her way back, because she is almost out of food, and they had no food for us to buy. Oh. Oh, they're assaulting us. That's actually convenient, because they're going to run right into these guys. Now, granted, I do still need to make sure my people aren't in the direct line of fire. So we're actually going to go hide in the potato field over here. Alright, here they come. Hopefully, these guys are going to be more than enough, because I don't particularly feel like trying to fight them myself. Alright, move to the cornfield. Ooh, oh wow, they are getting ripped to shreds. Don't kill them, don't kill them, I need them alive. Also, I need to lure them into choke points because they have big scary guns. Hello. Oh, I heard a tink. I don't like tinks are bad. Also, apparently nobody has any ammo. Release the animals. Yes, try to flee if you can. You won't get very far. Alright, looks like the vampire is not dead. Which makes sense, they're a vampire. I don't really want the vampire, though. I mean, I got their guns, which is pretty cool. But, the vampire can die. Like, I do not want the vampire. I will strip them first. before I try to kill them. Alright. Just start brutalizing the vampire. Not even sure if we can kill a vampire, but we might as well try. Do we have somebody who can actually, like, properly kill them? I'll send Coog. At least Coog actually has a weapon, so that might work a little better than just punching them to death. Jeez, she just will not die. How are you not dead yet? You have no legs and your heart is destroyed. Just die already. And your arms are now cut off as well. You've been reduced to just a torso and a head, and your head is also now being obliterated. Alright, I think Coog needs to go take a nap. I genuinely don't think that Tomoko is gonna die. But they are horribly, horribly crippled. So, I mean, they got no legs, no arms, no heart, and their jaw is shattered and their right ear has been destroyed. So, I think we can afford to just leave them there, and maybe they'll starve to death. I think that's about the best we can hope for. And the trade caravan is leaving. Well, at least they tried to help. Not that they... I mean, they did help a lot, but unfortunately, all the people I wanted died. So... Oh, and our visitors gave us a score of 63, and they left us a gift of 4 components. Cool. Speaking of components, actually, that reminds me, we need to make some crossbows. We'll make 5 of them. That should be more than enough. Well, I think I'm gonna leave this episode off here. We didn't make a lot of super visible progress, but we did get a quote-unquote armory built, which I'm going to remove from the list now before I forget. We got this warehouse almost fully converted to stone, except for one little piece, which shouldn't be too hard to wrap up. And we got that trade caravan sent out to a settlement we have never traded with before. So that is pretty cool. And we now have an eternally dying vampire just kind of sitting there. So, gonna have to figure out how to deal with that. Other than that, though, got a lot of research done. Kinda. I mean, a lot of smaller projects, but that does mean we are going to be needing to build a sauna at some point. So that should be pretty nifty. With all that said and done, though, I will see you all in the next episode.